Senator Williams.
Thank you, Mr President. Mr President, my question is to the Minister for Communications, Senator Fifield. Will the Minister inform the Senate about the progress of the rollout of the National Broadband Network?
The Minister for Communications, Senator Fifield.
Thank you, Mr President. The Coalition, as you know well, Mr President, is committed to delivering fast broadband to all Australians sooner and at less cost to taxpayers. At the last election, there were only 260,000 premises in fixed-line areas passed by the NBN. Today, the figure is more than 1 million. A measly 51,000 users were on the network 2 years ago under Labor. Today, there are more than 570,000 subscribers. And the NBN corporate plan shows that by the end of June 2016, around 1 in 4 premises will have access to the NBN, while at the end of June 2018, around 3/4 of homes and businesses will have access. Under the Coalition, Mr President, the NBN is meeting its financial and deployment target, which is very different to Labor, when it met only 17% of its deployment forecasts. Labor's announcement yesterday, Mr President, that Labor would be reverting to its fibre-only policy, if I could quote the Australian Financial Review editorial today, is, and I quote, an expensive joke. The published NBN 2016 corporate plan forecasts that an all-fibre fixed-line build would require peak funding of between $74 billion and $84 billion, and the extra civil works required for fibre into the home not only cost tens of billions of dollars more, but takes vastly more time to finish. Some Australians would have to wait till 2026 to get a connection. So Mr Clare only has to answer 3 simple questions. That is, when's he going to do it, how's he going to do it, and how's he going to fund it? Other than those 3 questions, it's entirely clear. But Mr President, the AFR is right. Labor's plan is a joke.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Williams, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. Minister, why is a multi-technology mix the most practical way of delivering super-fast broadband to Australians more quickly and at a cheaper cost to taxpayers?
Minister.
Mr President, unlike Labor's unfunded and unrealistic option, the Coalition is embracing a multi-technology mix. The NBN is one of many companies in the world rolling out a multi-technology mix. In Germany, Deutsche Telekom has recently announced an expansion of its fibre-to-the-node network to cover 80% of its fixed-line footprint by 2018. There have also been mass deployments by BT Openreach in the UK, AT&T in the US, and many others covering millions of homes. Because the NBN is now technology agnostic, it means that under the Coalition, the NBN will be completed in 5 years' time by finding the most practical technology to connect the NBN with Australians sooner and at less cost. We cannot afford to leave large numbers of Australians behind, Mr President, as we seek to accelerate the nation's productivity and global competitiveness in an age of digital disruption.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Williams, final supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. Will the Minister advise the Senate on any threats to delivering fast, affordable broadband to all Australians?
Order. On my left. Order. And Senator Cameron, you should withdraw that remark. Thank you, Senator Cameron. Minister.
Threats, Mr President. Senator Conroy, Mr Clare and the collective of the Australian Labor Party. They are the threats. And we know Labor's track record is appalling. We could not risk, as a nation, allowing this vital infrastructure project to go back into the hands of those opposite. The Australian Financial Review, again, today in its editorial, Mr President, says, and I quote, "Here we go again. Labor's announcement it will reinvigorate the national broadband fibre optic cable to every home network, but not share any details or even admit that it will cost a lot more money than the current mix of technologies in this area should come as no surprise." Quite again, the AFR, Labor has no credibility in this area. Mr President, all Mr Clare has to do is say when he's going to do it, how he's going to do it, and how he's going to fund it. And we eagerly await that news.
Thank you.